everybody, I'm Tom Vassell, and welcome to Week in Review, where we take a look at the different videos that we do over the course of a week. We tell you what we think about them, and then you can click the links in the description if you want to see the full thing. Now, last week was a much shorter week because we took Wednesday off because on Thursday, Friday, we did the marathon, which went tremendously. I hope this is being recorded in the future. But here is the other stuff we did around that.
Hey everybody, I'm Z Garcia, and last week I reviewed one thing. I reviewed Martian Chess that I gave a 7.5 to. This is a two-player only abstract game that utilizes the Looney pyramids that Looney Labs has used for many, many years. They've put out a bunch of different games using these pyramids. They, in fact, had a collection of these games in the Pyramid Arcade that included Martian Chess. But now you can get that game on its own in a very small package, and it's a wonderful two-player abstract game with some weird, kooky rules. The idea that you don't own any of the pieces on the board, they are merely yours transitionally while they're on your half of the playing surface. And if you move a piece across the board, now it's your opponent's piece. You're trying to capture pieces, but every capture you make by moving across the center and taking a piece off the board means that you immediately give control of a piece to your opponent. Very clever, very interesting, and one that I certainly would recommend if you enjoy abstract games. And that's it for me. I'll see you on the next one.
Hey everyone, Chris here. This week was a simpler week. Because of the marathon, I simply took a look at Rotten Tomatoes, the card game, which I gave a 7.5. A surprisingly high score for a box that looks like that. But this is basically Timeline, but with movie rankings. I really enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun. There's a few flaws with the bonus, the wild cards, but with a few house rules away, this is actually a really excellent party game. The rules as written, a 7.5, very good. And that's been my week.
Okay, so this is what I reviewed this week. First off, there was a game called Gardeners. And it's not The Gardeners, I guess it's Gardeners. And this was kind of where you, everyone's got different information. You're trying to build a garden and get it to match everyone's specifications without knowing them. It's pretty clever. It's a nice little puzzle game. I don't know how often it would hit the table, but I enjoyed my plays of it, and I like when something clicks. But I gave that one a 6.5. Then we reviewed Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes is a movie game where you're kind of, it's like Timeline, but you're kind of judging where you like movies and put them in the line. I enjoyed it. I gave it an 8. I think it's really fun. If you like movies, take a look at it. It's a party game. You'll like it. Let's party. All right, and then I also reviewed Thunder Road Vendetta. This one I wasn't sure if I would like. I really, really liked it. So not to spoil the review, I enjoyed this a lot. It's just mayhem. It's crazy, crazy fun. And I gave this a 9, and it was very close to a 9.5. I really liked this game. So that is what I reviewed this week.
Hey everybody, it's Mike DeLisio, and this week I reviewed 3 games. First up is World Exchangers, a game I actually reviewed live during the gaming marathon. I gave it a 6 out of 10. It's an interesting game. It's very simple. On your turn, you're either going to be buying a city card or selling a city card and trying to get the best kind of bang for your buck, so to speak, and there's a set collection element. But I felt like the scoring at the end was more effort than it really should be for a game that simple. Right on the edge, close, but couldn't quite recommend it. Then I reviewed Antique or Ghost, which I gave a 7 out of 10. This is a very interesting game, another small box card game with an economic element. And in this game, you're secretly dealt a card at the beginning that tells you kind of what your cursed item is. And you've got some cards that are in your shop and some cards that are in your collection. And on your turn, you're going to choose a card in somebody else's shop, and they're going to have an option either to let you have that card to put in your collection and they get to do a special power, or they take the card for themselves and let you do a special power. What really most of these powers are going to be involved with are manipulating the value of these cards so that at the end, you've got the most value of items in your shop. It's a very simple game with really one hook, but it's an interesting enough hook that I can recommend it, 7 out of 10. And then finally, I reviewed Treasures of Nakbe. I gave this an 8 out of 10. This is from designer Reiner Knizia, and it's a re-implementation of a game called Drachenholt. I believe that's what it was called. That was never available in the States. But it's a roll and move game, believe it or not, that actually has some really neat decisions where you are dealt secretly at the beginning of the game 3 adventurers, and you are trying to get them out of either a temple on one side of the board or a jungle on the other side of the board. You're trying to get them out first and not be too obvious about who your adventurers are so that other people don't try to sabotage them and get them caught by this guardian that's chasing them around. So a really interesting game, one that I can easily recommend. That is Treasures of Nakbe. All right, well, that's it for me this week. Let's keep it moving.
This week I took a look at a whole slew of games in one of the rapid fire roundups, so be sure to tune into that to find my thoughts on Valbara, Wonder Tales, Yokai Sketch, Recto Versa, Trailblazers, Masters of the Universe, Minecraft Builders and Biomes, and My Father's Work. So a whole slew of games there in that rapid fire roundup to get my scores and thoughts on each of those. I also, though, took a look at Thunder Road Vendetta. This game I came in at an 8.5 on. I really enjoyed it. This is just the epitome of dumb fun, and that is a positive thing for sure in this game. I had a little bit of concerns about player counts that maybe doesn't scale well down to the lower players, and there's a couple map tiles that maybe can just get a little crowded, but at the end of the day, you got cars, you got guns, and it's a race. It is an absolute win. Had a blast playing Thunder Road Vendetta. That's it for me. Let's keep it moving.
Okay, so I reviewed a game called LOQ, short for Eloquence. It's not a great party game, unfortunately. It's a 5 out of 10. I also reviewed Gardeners, which is like a not talking, but building a garden out in front of you. There's a lot of interesting ideas. Very small diagram of people who are going to want to play it, though. Speed, no communication. Very similar to many of the other games. It's interesting, but it just fell a little short for me, 6.5. Thunder Road Vendetta is an amazing game, and I want to play it all the time. 9 out of 10, not even a question. I also did a couple of my 5 great games series, 5 great games from 2001 and 2002. I continued my Aeon's Trespass Odyssey thing where, oh man, some unexpected stuff happened, so I'm giving a retelling of that. And we did a live play of Apex Legends. This is all aside from, like I said, the marathon, and of course we did board game breakfast, crowdfunding, crowdsurfing, and lots of other things went up. I did a Q&A and stuff too. So check it all out. Anyway, this has been Week in Review in the Dice Tower. I'm Tom Vassell. We'll see you next time.